just in case anybody wants it. It's right here, front row. And another one. There's 2 seats, just, you know, FYI.
We won't bite.
Yeah. Okay. Going once. Wow.
Now there's a seat here.
There's 2 seats.
Lisa.
One.
There's one more.
Okay. Everybody got their seats?
Right here.
Aisle seat, window seat. Everybody got a seat. Good. So,
You're not doing a spit take, right?
a spit take?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I'm not telling. Everything happens when it happens. It's part of the job. So I want to thank everyone for being here. This is the first step in what will hopefully later be, which will later be a more full production of Learning to Be Tall.
Yeah.
Some of you know and some of you don't know that Elizabeth Browning is an incredible acting coach, and she's also my very good friend. And we've been working together for probably almost, I don't know, 15 years, off and on, lots of times off, sometimes on. And when you work with Elizabeth, she has this amazing ability to enable you to stand up and just explore something. You know, it could be what happened at the grocery store. It could be, you know, what happened when my best friend died. It could be anything. It could, and she has the uncanny ability, really superpower, to help, like, extract the meaning, and the emotional possibility from almost anything. It's amazing. So anyhow, I love her classes, and I've done a bajillion improvs. So what this is basically taking a bunch of improvs that have happened over the last years and sort of turning it into a script-ish, and that's what I'm going to be reading from tonight. So this is a work in progress. This is a work in progress. This is a work in progress. Thank you for being here. Please turn off your cell phones. Did I forget anything? That's it. The bathrooms are all the way in the back. All the way in the back.
Oh, well, too late.
Yes.
That's what they do in the plans.
Thank you for coming, and I'll see you after. The only thing you take with you when you die is what you've made for yourself inside. The only thing you take with you when you die is what you've made for yourself inside. What you've been given and how you use it. It's all a puzzle for you to work out. My friend had a baby today. And my friend's baby's name is Ember Oak. Ember, like the tiniest beginning of a flame. And oak, like a tall, strong tree that has roots that go deep in the ground. Gives shelter, weathers many storms. A tree that will sway in the wind, but stay strong because of its roots. Ember Oak, happy birthday to you, and welcome. I hope I get to know you. But maybe I'll just be one of those people that knows your parents. We probably won't hang out a lot. But you mean a lot to me, even if I don't mean a whole lot to you. And I guess that's how it always is, you know? You have people living and not living, and you mean a lot to those people. You might not even know their names, but they remember the day you came here. That you were a tiny little bundle of possibility, and you gave them hope, and you raised their hearts, and it made them happy to think about you. It made them happy to know that you had come, and that you were new, and that you were excited to be here, and loving and curious, all of it. A story. A story about growing up, about starting small, about feeling small, and about getting bigger. Everybody used to be tiny. Everybody was held in someone's arms. Just a tiny little loaf of bread. Everybody here was a loaf of bread once. I was a loaf of bread once. We were all teeny little loaves of bread. And then we got bigger. And the world got inside us. And some of the parts of the world that got inside us made us happy and hopeful and filled with wonder. And some of the parts of the world that got inside us made us confused and frightened and angry, sad. Made us want to stay tiny forever because it's just too damn scary out there. So, learning to be tall. What is that all about? It's about starting small and getting bigger. I'm actually tall. That is a true thing about who I am. I am a tall person. This is undisputedly true. I mean, it's all relative, and there's a lot of things I can't say for sure, like, am I a good person? Am I a nice person? Am I a thoughtful person? Am I a deep person? Am I a smart person? Am I a sexy person? Am I an old person? Well, maybe, but you cannot doubt the fact that I am a tall person. And it's good to have one thing that you know for sure about yourself. But being tall is a particular thing, especially if you're a particular gender and it's a particular time. So what about that? What is being tall? Being tall is being able to see someone over the tops of everyone else's heads. It's about being a wind block. In my case, it's what I am. So that means a lot of things. Long legs, long arms, long body, long neck, long head, and a lot of things I'm not. I'm not Marilyn Monroe. I'm not petite and adorable. I'm not curvy. I'm not 5'2" with eyes of blue. And it's being too much, just too much, like too much appendage, too much body, too much everything. Can't direct it, it's gangly everywhere, kind of awkward and funny looking, and all those things for a long time. But then there comes a moment where not being a darling little petite round person with big breasts and tiny cutenesses is no longer a problem. I can hold something up high. I can carry a canoe. And there's a legacy. There's a legacy of Amazon women who are tall and strong and fierce and unstoppable. Commanders and leaders and beautiful and wild, all of that. So it becomes something. It's not like little Bambi awkward leg can't really do anything, looks funny in her dress. Suddenly, wait a minute, I can move, I can walk, I can run fast, I have long legs. It's being able to lift things up high. Being able to reach things on a high shelf. What's this box? There's nothing in that box. There's absolutely nothing at all in this box. It's empty. It's an empty box. But what if I just close my eyes a deep breath. And just feel in here. It's a blade of grass. There was a time when I just didn't know what to do. And we'll talk about that later. Let's see what else might be. A teapot. And so, this is really where it all begins. Mary! Mary, come on in here and have tea with your mom. It's time! How's this, Mrs. Monier? Gladys, how many times do I have to ask you? Can you please call me Betty? Mrs. Monier, that is never gonna happen. Mary! Mary, come on now! Hi, Mom! Hello, sweetheart. How's it going? How was your day? Well, I went outside and I played with Dave a little and we went roller skating. You can roller skate? Yeah, and I didn't fall down. Well, except one time, but not very much. And I can skate all the way to the end of the block and back. Oh my. And also, Eva brought me a ball. She did. A new ball. It's red, it has a blue stripe around it, and I can bounce it. And she taught me a bouncing, catching, counting game, and I got all the way up to 23. 23 is a pretty big number. Well, I can count to 40, and that's an even bigger number. Is that how old you are? I'm 40 plus how old you are. 43. You don't seem that old. Tomorrow, we're gonna go to Lynn's house, and she has 2 ponies and a swimming pool. We get to ride and go swimming. Can you come? Please? I don't think so, honey. Why not? You don't have to swim. You could just bring your violin and play music for all of us. Mary, I can't. Why not? You never go anywhere. I'm sick, honey, and the doctor says I have to stay home and rest. I don't like that, doctor. I want to do things with you. I want to do things with you too, honey. Mom, are you gonna die? That might be what happens. But I don't want you to die. I don't want to die either. Well, what am I supposed to do? Your dad will take care of you. He's never home. He'll be home. And even Forrest will be here. But I want you to be here. Mary, listen to me. I love you. I will always find a way to be with you, even if I'm not here. How are you going to do that? You don't know how to do that. You can't do that. How are you going to do that? Well, I guess I'm just going to have to figure it out, because you know what? I love you so much. I can't leave you. How could I do that? I love you more than anything in the whole world. Well, then just don't die. honey. I'm sorry. But if there was ever a reason for someone to be here after, you're my reason. Okay. Okay, Mom. Well, she did that. She did die. She became an angel. And then my dad needed a lot of help. So Irma came, the German housekeeper, who really did not like kids at all. She packed up. She packed up and left. Too much noise, too much dog hair, too much loud kids, too much fun. She didn't like my dad. She didn't like my brother. She didn't like me. She was out. Irma, gone. But then my dad found a new wife. I remember her naked in the bathtub the day when she was gonna get married to my dad. And we were staying at her parents' house in Grand Island, Nebraska. And I woke up and I was so excited because I was gonna get a new mom that day. And I remember opening the bathroom door and kind of seeing her and saying, "Hi, Mom." And she said, "Not yet, but I'm gonna be your mom today, and I'm so happy." And then they had their wedding, and my sister was there, and my brother was there, and my dad was there, of course, because he was the one getting married to her. And my new mom's relatives were all there, and my sister was really upset. My sister actually had to have drugs and be taken away because she was so upset. Because I think she understood much better than I did that this whole other person who was not my mom was going to be the person to raise me and my brother. And I think that was probably my first clue that things were not going to go exactly as I had imagined. Ow! Ow! You're hurting me, that hurts! Well, we just have to get this hair untangled. Mary, it's just, oh, hell's bells. It's just a rat's nest in here. I don't know how this happens. It's just so much hair. Well, it hurts when you pull it. Please don't pull it. I'm not trying to pull it. It's just hard to brush your hair without, there's so many tangles in your hair. Well, Eva can do it. And when Eva does it, it feels fine. I don't know why you can't do it. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not Eva. I wish you were Eva. Okay, let's just leave it alone. Leave it alone. You know, I think the best thing would be to just cut it. And then I won't hurt you, and this won't keep happening. No, I don't want my hair cut. I love my hair. I love my hair. I don't want you to cut it. Don't cut it. I had to put my foot down. I know. I feel bad for her. It's hard. She's lost her mother. I understand. But she has to learn. I am the mother. Mary, we're going to cut your hair. That's what we're going to do. We're going to get it cut. We're not going to keep going through this. I don't want my hair cut. I don't want you to cut my hair. I'm not going to cut your hair. We're going to go to the hair salon and we're going to get it cut. Hello. Oh, I think the perfect thing would be a pixie cut. That's going to look just lovely on you. Snip, snip, snip. Snip, snip, snip. That looks adorable. You look so cute. All done. I hate it. doesn't even look like me. I look like a stupid little pin face head, like a little rat with bangs. I love my long hair. It made me feel like a princess. Now I just feel like a ugly little matchstick with a little fluffy fluff on top. Bye, hair. Nobody really cares what I think anyway. And that's the day when I first understood that I was kind of alone. It didn't really matter too much what I felt. And I was gonna have to learn how to be good. Nobody really meant for that to happen, but things happen. It was not the only conclusion a person could come to, but it was a conclusion that I came to. And it was a really ugly haircut. And so, we moved from the big white house on Garfield to a ranch-style house on Kensington Place, very royal. When you walk in the front door, the first thing you see are these big wrought iron gates leading into the living room. They're like 8 feet tall, 6 feet wide. It was like going into a prison. I think it was supposed to be like going into a castle, but it was the most stupid-looking ranch house castle. I mean, castles have multiple floors and turrets and windy staircases. They don't have a slate entryway with avocado green linoleum on one side. That is not a castle, people. The only redeeming feature of that house was my purple bathroom. It was 4th grade. Everybody had a page boy, so I got to have one too. It was, Patty Duke. Kathy adores a minuet, the ballet russe and Korean Suzette. But Patty likes to rock and roll, hot dog makes you lose control. You remember Patty Duke, right? So I had these big pink plastic curlers, and I would stand in front of that mirror for hours doing my hair, and I slept on those things. It really didn't help. I was like 5'7", I weighed maybe 90 pounds. I was like a matchstick wearing a dish rag, like a little bone with like a bobblehead and hair. All the other girls were transforming into Kathy or Patty Duke. Not me. My mom tried. She made my clothes. She had a master's degree in home ec. My dad's big victory. Like he said, no more artists. Oh. So, I escaped. Grimm's Fairy Tales. Hours and hours of time with Grimm's Fairy Tales. Absolutely captivating somehow, with horror stories of people getting burned, dismembered, beheaded, being abandoned, tortured, but also loved. And then saved and brave, and so heroic, finding their way. Children clinging to each other and figuring it out. Animals that could talk, and poor ugly girls that were transformed into princesses. But not because they were pretty, because they were intelligent and wise beyond their years. And because they had a fairy godmother that only they could see. I loved the magical forests, and I wanted to be in that forest. And I did get to be in a forest, but it wasn't exactly the kind of forest I was hoping for. But they sent me to camp, Red Pine Camp, Red Pine Camp for girls, Red Pine Camp for girls, out on Big Clear Lake, out on Big Clear Lake. We have fun riding and swimming too. We go canoeing in red canoes. There's skiing, sailing, and sports on land. They all combine to make Red Pine grand. Sweeping compound. Sweeping compound. It's red, it's waxy, it's kind of a sawdust stuff. And who ever heard of it? I don't know who uses it, but it used to be a thing at Red Pine Camp. There was a smell, and it was in these buckets, like a tin bucket filled with red sweeping compound. So you put your hand in there because every day, chores. You gotta get up, you go to breakfast, you come back, chores. You gotta make your bed so that a coin flips on it. And you got inspection every day. And you better not get below a 7. 7 was like a C. You did not want to get below a 7. You could get in trouble if you got that, and you really did not want that. They had a list with all the things that you had to do. And if you got them wrong, you got marked off. And if you got them right, you got points. And the person that got the most points, the cabin that got the most points at the end of the summer, got an ice cream sundae with as many scoops as you want. And all the things. You could have chocolate, butterscotch, nuts, candy bars, whatever. All of it. I don't know. I got it once. Whipped cream, it was a thing. You wanted to get that right. So you don't want to mess that up. You got to make the bed so the coin bounces. So this is how it works. First of all, you get up, you go to breakfast, you want to air it out. Then you come back, you got to bring the sheets up, and you got to tuck it in. You got to make the square corners. You lift it up, tuck it in, fold it under, tuck it in, tuck it in, tuck it in, tuck it in, tuck, 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 tuck. Very, very, very tucked in, tight. That's how you do it. You gotta get tucked and tucked, tight, tight, tight. And then there was the riding ring. The riding ring was just like going around on a big horse. And my favorite horse was Coco. He was really tall, and he's called Coco because he's mostly cream colored, but he has chocolate brown tail and mane, and he was so sweet and gentle. And all the other activities were presided over by young women, you know, the counselors. But the riding ring was presided over by Roy. It was mayhem up there. And Roy was not having any of this Red Pine makes ladies out of girls business. He was like, come on now. He'd say, take them on out and turn them on a dime. Get ready for a trot. All right, take them out for a trot. And, oh, you can't polish, you can't learn to ride by polishing the saddle. And all that. He was the perfect cowboy with the bow legs, cigarette, cowboy hat, probably tapping the counselors on the bottom. He was so politically incorrect. Everybody loved Roy, politically incorrect Roy. And riding was everyone's favorite thing to do at camp because it was free. And you could move and go fast. And you had horses, and you love them, and they love you back. And they carry you, and they go between your legs. Riding is the best introduction to sex. Because, you know, it's love and yoni together. And Roy is fun, and Coco, and feeling so comforted by this big, strong horse kind of imposing and scary, but so gentle. And then the smell of the stable. It's really good for you to be around actual horse shit. So good. And then there was the other thing at Red Pine Camp, water. It was out on Big Clear Lake. And there was Big Clear Lake and Little Clear Lake. And Big Clear Lake was always really cold. It is cold in Minocqua, Wisconsin in the summer. And you had to go swimming. You had to go swimming every day. The water was probably about 70 degrees. And you could not go in the water. So I did learn how to swim. And I was a good swimmer because you have to keep moving in that water or you'll just freeze. And they blow the whistle and you run in and you do bobs. Bob, 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 bob. Go in and do like 100 bobs. It's like doing 100 jumping jacks in the water. So that was water. And there's also canoeing. I ended up liking canoeing. I had a good canoeing instructor. Her name was Francie. She's big, she had dark hair, she kind of looked like a man. She wore red lipstick, and she was kind of tough, and she liked me. And I was like this totally skinny, like, my parents never come visit me on parents' weekend. And there's like 3 kids whose parents don't come and visit them, and I was always one of them, and it was like, I was kind of a sad sack a lot of the time, actually. And I don't want to be at camp, I don't like camp. And the owners of the camp would be like, be a happy camper. Go in the water and have fun and be a happy camper. And I'd be like, I just want to go over there and read my book. And they'd be like, no, go in the water. Go ahead, go, be a happy camper. And I went to that camp from the time I was 8 to when I was 17. Oh. It's a lot of happy camping. But there was also canoeing, and I like canoeing. And I told you that already. So anyway, this is the thing I didn't tell you. There was this big Canadian canoe trip, and it was a really big deal if you got to go on the Canadian canoe trip. They had these little like 1-day and 2-day canoe trips, and you'd spend the night, and you'd have these like big, heavy, wooden, red canoes. And if you were in canoeing class and you were halfway decent, you got to go on one of those trips. But the Canadian canoe trip was a whole different thing. You got your name on a board in the dining room that lives there eternally. Up there it says Canadian canoe trip and your name. I got to go twice. It was really exciting. They would make up a song that had your name in it. That's how you learned that you were going on the trip. And then you'd have all this preparation, and then there was a 4-hour car ride up to the border waters in Canada. Ely, Minnesota, that's where they drop you off. And usually on a regular canoe trip, you'd have these big, heavy, red wood canoes. But for the Canadian canoe trip, you got lightweight aluminum canoes. And that was a really big deal. For portaging, because there's a lot of portaging. And you weren't really out on a river. You were on lakes. There's like a whole cluster of lakes up there. So to get picked for that, you had to be strong. And you had to be able to get along with other people. And not be a person that would freak out. So I felt strong. I felt really strong doing that. I was an Amazon. I went from being this little skinny, like, my parents never show up for me, and nobody loves me, and nobody sends me snacks, to being like, I'm an Amazon. I can carry a canoe. Watch this. I'm carrying a canoe right now. I can carry a canoe by myself with a backpack, and I can walk over uneven surfaces. That was a moment. Right there. Sometimes there'd be really calm waters. And then sometimes you'd be out in the calm waters and suddenly a storm would come up, just like that. And the waves would get really big and you just had to drive right into those waves to go to shore. And we never capsized. I think I was scared, but I felt really strong. And I remember being up somewhere in Canada, and waking up at 4:30 in the morning and everyone else was asleep, and getting up. And the sun wasn't up yet, but it was about to come up. And just getting out of my sleeping bag and watching the sun, watching the sky go from black and white to the early morning colors, and telling myself, remember this. Remember this. Remember the light. Remember the colors. Remember this feeling, the wind on your face. The earth, so beautiful. Remember these little pebbles under your feet. The smell of the cool air. This brilliant sunrise. The orange and red and yellow and blue and purple. And it's changing. Remember it. Remember all of it. Remember the feeling of being loved and safe and surrounded. Coming home, coming home, coming home to your heart, coming home to you. All the ways in strange backyards and sounds that aren't familiar. Still you find your way. Still you find your way. It's a baby bird. A starling. Let it go whenever it wants. It can just fly away. So I'm learning to drive. And I was nervous because I don't know how to drive. And my dad was teaching me to drive. And my dad is not around much. So this is kind of a rare occasion. But we're out in the car together. And I love my dad. You know that song? It's a hymn. This is my Father's world, and to my listening ears, all nature sings, and around me rings the music of the spheres. Well, I kind of thought that song was about my dad, because it just felt like it was his world. Like he could do anything. He was tall and handsome and powerful and wealthy and funny and wise. I thought he was wise. And distant, very distant. Anyway, my dad was teaching me to drive, and I was just gripping the steering wheel like too tight. And he says, just pretend like you're holding a baby bird in your hand. Like a tiny baby bird. Just gentle, like a baby bird. That's it. Thanks, Dad. Hello, and good afternoon. Welcome. My name is Joanne Mogliano, and welcome to Joanne's School of Charm and Beauty. I started the school at the tender age of 24, back in 1940, and I've been doing this for over 30 years. This is a finishing school for young women. They come to me in all shapes, sizes, and varying degrees of disarray. And I help them to walk out these doors standing up straight with a smile on their face, feeling confident to be able to go into the world, go anywhere, and do many things. When I started this school, I had 5 young women who were of marriageable age. They were having a hard time finding partners. So they took them under my proverbial wing, and maybe only 18 months later, all of them were betrothed. I could not have been more pleased. I was not shocked, but I was, let's say, surprised. I was very, very satisfied. And that's when I realized this is my calling. Now, the secret to my program is, it all starts with forgetting. Forget everything you ever thought you were about who you are or what you are, and take on a persona. Take on the persona of a queen. You stand tall, you lift your chest, you remember your height, and you use it, and you smile. Why? Because smiling makes everyone feel better. It makes you feel better, it makes everyone feel better, it opens doors, it's just the thing you do. And I've had girls that have come in here with some problems there, you know, but I have someone who can fix their teeth and make them the way they ought to be. Sometimes it takes a year or 2, but it is very, very important. The smile is absolutely crucial. To have that radiant smile, and the queen, and the tall. And then we move on to makeup and skin. We need to have the basic regimen, a very disciplined, cleansing regimen. Every morning, every night, every morning, every night. We do the egg white mask, we do the eyebrows. We teach the girls how to pluck and shave eyebrows and, everywhere. And we keep the legs smooth and nice, and we hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. I have wonderful products and relationships with several cosmetics companies. And when it comes to makeup, the secret is don't use too much. Most people use too much, and they end up looking like a clown. So you have to blend, blend, blend. You have to know how to apply highlights. You want to look beautifully natural. Then we go on to clothing. We have to know what looks good on you and what will look atrocious. We go through the color chart and we find the colors, and after colors there's texture. And there's lines, the lines. You have to have the lines. With a short, round person, you don't want to have long, narrow lines. You have to have something that blends with your shape. I do my research, and I know what's going to work, and voila! And then we are ready for the final phase, which is all the girls go to Fortnightly. Every 2 weeks. It's a dance. It's where they learn how to be with a boy or in a social situation. Now, I've been working with Mary Monier. Her mother passed away and her stepmother brought her to me for grooming. Her father's that handsome man with the white hair. Anyway, she's not one of my easier charges. Can we speak candidly? She's a bit of an odd duck. She's very tall, very skinny, so problematic in that way. With those lovely long legs, she's slim, but a bit too slim. Not particularly attractive, not ugly, but not everyone can be Miss America, which I consulted on, by the way. The thing is, I just keep telling her your posture could be just a tad more erect. And you could, in general, just be a little more conscious of your everyday audience. You know, everyone has to look at you. Why not consider making it a slightly more delightful experience? Wasp girl! I'm white. I went to college. I had braces on my teeth in junior high. I never did hard drugs or had anal sex. Ew, old reruns of Fast Lassie make me cry. I'm just a wasp girl. You know I wish it wasn't true, but I'm a wasp girl. I think I'd rather be a Jew, but I'm a wasp girl. Wasp girl. I suffer from ethnic deprivation. Tradition to me is Caribbean vacation. I'm supposed to be Republican because Mom and Dad got money, but I never thought John Wayne could act and Bob Hope isn't funny. I'm just a wasp girl in an existential crisis. My past won't let me forget what being nice is. I want to move to Edge City, but I'm on the wrong bus. Here the people look so pretty, they say, hey, you're one of us. We know you're one of us because you're so bored and apathetic about most everything except your boyfriends and cosmetics. I'm just a wasp girl. You know it makes me feel so bad that I'm a wasp girl. You know I really feel quite sad that I'm a wasp girl. I wish I never had been born a wasp girl. So, the Blade class. It's 1974. It's Aurora, Illinois. I'm 19. I'm walking home from rehearsal for Little Murders, being produced by the Grand Falloon Repertoire Company of Aurora, Illinois. And it's hard. I'm feeling pulled in a direction. I'm kind of finding my way. I feel pulled. And the direction I'm feeling pulled in is very different from the direction that I feel myself being pushed into. And I felt like I just couldn't do it anymore. So, walking home, I decided I'd be like Siddhartha. And I sat down in the grass of the lawn outside Dr. Morris's house. And I said, I will sit here. I will sit like Siddhartha. I will not move. I will not speak until I know something that I don't know now. Mary, wait, what are you doing? You gotta get up. Your parents are coming. You gotta get up. Mary, what are you doing? We need to go home. We're taking you home right now. Do you hear me? We're taking you home. I don't know what kind of stunt you think you're trying to pull. You need to get up and come home now. Bill, you gotta talk to her. Get her out of here. Hey, kid. Come on now. You gotta I know, I feel like sitting down in the grass sometimes myself, but you just can't do that. You gotta look, you gotta get up, you gotta come home now. I'm not gonna stay here all night. This is ridiculous. And I'm not playing this game with you. You either get up by the time I count to 5 or I'm calling the police. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, I got up. I was afraid of the police. My parents took me home. I lay down on my bed. My father cut my toenails. And within an hour, I was at Mercyville, the local mental hospital, being received. I didn't talk. I didn't say a word. I remember this doctor came in the room and said, "Oh, young lady, you've decided not to talk. That's a decision. The world is intense. The world at home, emotional life. We all know that. The fiddle-faddle, fickle world. We'll certainly be able to figure out whatever's wrong with you and have you back to your old self in no time." And I just looked at my dad. And he looked at me and blinked. And there was this moment, it was like, you think I'm crazy? This guy's really nuts. Still, I was silent for 3 days. But then they started talking about giving me shock therapy, and I was like, okay, this is not going to happen. I mean, I know how to do this. I went to Joanne's School of Charm and Beauty. I know how to talk, I know how to walk, I can say the right thing. I know how to do all that stuff. I just didn't want to, but I did do it. Enough so that they didn't fry my brain. But they kept me there for 6 weeks for observation. And I met people there. I met this guy, Tom Brown. I had my guitar, he had a guitar. We just sat around and played music together. He taught me that song, "How is it that I could come out to here and be still floating? Never hit bottom and keep falling through, just relaxed and paying attention." It was great. Like, I had a friend. And then there was this other guy, Will Sullivan. He told me that he was there because he jumped into a vat of chocolate, which I don't think was necessarily true, but who knows? It was different times back then. It was like this whole beautiful kind of magical Tom Robbins book kind of thing. So there was Tom Brown, and there was Will, who may or may not have jumped into a vat of chocolate. And then there was this tiny little old lady that would just shuffle around in her slippers and her bathrobe, like a one-person Greek chorus. And she gave out these little pieces of paper that said, "Let go, let God." And Sandy, the nurse, who was so kind, and she just said, "You're okay. The world is crazy. You're not crazy. You're okay." And then I understood. I was going to have to figure out how to be myself and not get shock therapy. And then a lot of life happened. Mary goes to college. Mary does Grotowski. Mary lives at the Pacific Ocean with the waves going out and coming in and going out and doing ocean theater. Mary puts pictures of dead sheep from her father's feedlot up on her wall, and Mary feels angry with the world. Mary falls in love with a wonderful illustrator and moves to New York to live with the illustrator. Mary hates the illustrator. Mary loves New York. Mary likes Herbert Berghoff and William Hickey, Hell's Angels, waitressing, getting fired from waitressing. And now Mary prays, "Please send me a teacher." And the next day, a teacher appears. Mary has a child. Mary gets married. Mary has another child, gets divorced. Mary doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. Mary on Bowery Street washing a windshield. What the hell are you doing? I'm washing your windshield. You don't belong here. Get a job. House cleaning, dog walking. 11th Street and 6th Avenue. And suddenly, a beautiful 75-year-old woman appears. You know, my daughters are tall with beautiful long legs like yours, and I told them they should audition for the Rockettes, but they never did. My name is Jean Howard, an angel. Come to my home. You can pretend like you're cleaning and we'll just talk about life and I'll give you presents. Okay, that sounds great. And so Jean Howard appeared seemingly out of nowhere with messages of hope and love and resiliency and art and laughter. Thank you, Jean Howard. Stand up straight. Okay, wow. And then there was the voice of a man that made me turn around. And some things happened. And there was marriage and twins, and a complicated 6-person family, and magic and fighting and heartbreak and fury, disappointment and no money, and lots of money and no money, and eventually healing. And then there was a town and a space and a friend and another friend. And then there was a violin playing friend. And I told her my story, and she listened, and she understood. And so a ray of light, and time rolled on. And my life got bigger, and my heart was healing, and my heart became very healed. And all the while, my friend who played the violin and I became closer and deeper friends. And she was always my friend. And then my beloved friend became my neighbor. And she'd come over and knock on my door and say, "Hi, want to go for a walk?" And we'd go for a walk, or we'd sit on my front porch and talk about everything and drink tea. Sweet times. One day, my friend came over and said to me, "I have this tumor. I don't know what it is, but I'm pretty sure I can heal it. And I think it's going to help me lose weight." And that became a whole adventure. So there's 2 ways to tell the story, or 20 ways, or 50, or 150,000. And one way to tell this story is that my friend had begun her new adventure to a foreign land. And now she has gone there. But she still sends messages, sometimes in ways that are like riddles, sometimes in ways that are pretty obvious, and some ways unmistakable. And that's one way to tell this story. And another way to tell this story is that my friend died. And I'm very sad, and I miss my friend, and I want her to come back. She's not going to. She was my friend, and full of life and creativity and ideas, full of music and love and life. And I miss you, and I can't hear you. I miss you so much. I love your music. I love your jokes and your confidence and your imagination, your just crazy, wild wonderfulness. I miss it. I miss holding your hand and seeing your face. And I don't think I've told you enough times how much I love you. And that you heard me when I was alone. And I was mad at you for being sick. And there's a part of me that's just sad and mad, and I can't feel you here, and I want to feel you here, and I want to hear you. You gave me the confidence that I could be an artist too. You're such an amazing fucking artist. And I love you so much. And I know you know. But you know, at the same time, she's not really gone. I know you're here. I know you're here. And I trust that you can cross the universe like a bright, shiny, sparkling kaleidoscope of stars. And your music is always here. And your laughter is ringing in my ears. And you're always on the avant-garde, leading the way. So I trust that there's a trail of brightly colored, sparkly breadcrumbs streaming from where you are, and that you're throwing them and dropping them and tossing them and shooting them with a Nerf gun, just making everything more and more apparent. And sometimes I will not see the signs you're sending, because sometimes I'm going to be too angry and too small and too sad. But sometimes I will. More and more. Because I'm learning to look up and rise up. And I want to feel you. And I want to feel how love crosses every boundary. And I know that you do too. So, as we end this journey, the light changes. And the most beautiful violin music begins to play somewhere in the distance. And standing in the spotlight is Betty Ross Monier. But you can just call her Betty. A kaleidoscope of stars, laughter, a trail of bright colored breadcrumbs from where we are. Oh, Mary, this is all just amazing. To have a chance to talk to my grandchildren. Will, the one that started all, the oldest of souls. So fierce and gentle, kind, smart, such a sweet person, and handsome too. Such a lovable human being. I'm so proud of you. How you found your way out of darkness time and time again. You're so brave and courageous. I have a gift for you. That little light that shines. This is for you. A light that will never go out. To remind you that you are loved always. And Willis. Oh my God, Willis. Thank you for changing your name to include me. That was an honor for me. I love watching you, watching all the things you do. So observant, sensitive. You're kind, but you're also not a bullshitter. You're straight and thoughtful, a wonderful musician. And those hands, oh my God, those dexterous hands. I love how you love nature and your body. So brave to declare who you are, not let somebody else try to tell you. I'm proud to be your grandmother. And my gift for you is a magical blanket. It's soft, and you can wrap yourself in it and feel beautiful, healing, soft, comforting waves just going through your whole body so that you can just feel surrounded by love and completely relaxed And then there's Michael. Michael, you're extraordinary. And I know you're finding your way. You're determined. You're like a hero. You're like Lancelot, an adventurer, willing to try new things. You've got this easygoing persona. But I know you've been through a lot. You have a lot of feelings, and they go deep. You love your family, your dog, your family, especially your family. You're not only brave and wonderfully creative, but you're a wonderful human being. And I'm going to give you this magic wand of creativity. If you feel lost or you don't know what to do, you just pick it up and hold it. And remember that it will connect you with the whole flow of creative energy. And you will remember who you are and how much you are loved. And Violet. Oh, Violet. Are we the same person? No, but we're pretty similar. You are a hellion, my dear, and I love you so much. Your big, huge, giant heart, so tender. You want to help every little insect and every human being, unless they do something stupid, and then you want to kill them. It's beautiful. I love your creativity, your painting, you're sexy, just flaunt it, I don't give a fuck, just go for it, miss. You are a genius. You have the capability to do whatever you want. And my gift for you is a giant bathtub that can be outside, under the stars, with a writing desk on top. So you can write in the bathtub, just like Dalton Trumbo. You know, with pens and paper and paints for painting and everything all at the same time. And this magic bubble bath that smells like all the people that love you. You're fabulous. I'm very happy to be your grandmother. I will go with all of you, always. And Paul. Thank you for loving my daughter. Thank you for loving my grandchildren. I like your writing. Thank you for showing up over and over and over. For you, I have this vest. You can wear it underneath everything else, and it will protect your heart. It will keep your heart safe. It will magnify all love coming towards you and going from you. May you wear it always, and know that my love goes with you wherever you are. And so, my beautiful daughter, we've been through quite a lot, haven't we? I told you I'd be with you, and I did not lie. I hope that you have felt me. I felt you. So hey, daughter, stand up straight, be tall, and not because of Joanne's School of Charm and Beauty, that was ridiculous, because you are a queen. You are not perfect. You are a perfectionist, which is annoying. But you are perfect. You are perfect, sweetheart. Keep on singing, keep on loving, keep on napping, keep on eating. You can eat a little more sugar. It's a delight to watch you and your family on this earth doing all the things you do. Mundane, stupid, beautiful, genius, creative, brilliant. And for you, this jewelry box. Inside it is a gem for every day of your life. It is a reminder, and every day a new gem will appear. You can keep it in a drawer. You can strew them out on your dresser. You can make them into a crown. You can share them with your friends. Such good friends. Just know that they're there, and they're for you. And they're because of you. Be well, darling. snacks to snack, and we can hang out and be together for a while if we want to. Thank you so much.